guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Rose, and welcome if you're new, by the way. I keep forgetting to say that, to welcome all the new people coming on board, because we have quite a few new people. So yeah, welcome aboard. So today I am doing the fourth video for the St. Patrick's Day collaboration, the hashtag JJ Shenanigans collaboration, and watched Rachel's video on Thursday and it was awesome. She did some amazing things. Her make was absolutely stunning. If you haven't seen it, go watch it now. I will link it in the description box below for you. So today I will be working with some of the techniques that Rachel shared with us, but first of all I want to show you the prize. So if you are following along and crafting along with us, make sure you post photographs of a stained glass project and a Celtic crosses project. Hashtag them both with JJ Shenanigans, hashtag JJ Shenanigans, which will also be in the description box below, just to make sure you get the spelling right, because if it's spelled incorrectly in your hashtag, we won't be able to find your entry. Also, any of the videos throughout the collaboration that you comment on, you will get an extra entry into the draw for an ephemera pack of Irish ephemera. So I've gathered a few bits here. This isn't all of it. There are a few more bits and pieces to go in there. There will be fabrics and lots of other little bits and bobs. Just to give you a taster of what is in here. This is an actual old pound note. These are the notes that we had when I was growing up. Haven't had those for a long time here. There's one of those. There's some charms. There's a St. Patrick's Day badge, some vintage postcards and antique book pages. There's actually a book of Irish grammar there, a small one. Some envelopes with postage marks and things like that on them. A little magazine that we do every year at Christmas, all that kind of stuff. So it's all Irish ephemera, genuine Irish ephemera. There's even a little necklace here, and this wrapped around the necklace, you can see, that is genuine Irish homespun, and it comes from County Clare, I think it was. I have a spool of that, so I have just wound some around here for whoever gets this prize. And also included will be a copy of my Echoes of Ireland kit, and Rachel is also giving a copy of her Dublin Doors kit. So we'll make a really nice little prize bundle for you guys, for the lucky winner. Just going to put that aside. Oh. So like I said, I do still have to go through my stash and pick out a few more bits and pieces. So that's quite exciting. Okay, so today's project, we are working with Celtic crosses. Now, I was making some bits and pieces for a swap that we're doing over in the Jug Journal Trading Post with Rachel Bella Crafts Facebook group. And I have done some stenciling and stuff in here as well. So you can see I have a Celtic cross stenciled back here. And it makes a nice little background, just simple and subtle. Another one in here, and I think that's it for the crosses on those. So I have been playing around with the techniques that Rachel gave us. So I had to make a stencil, and I do have a Cricut, so I was going to make a stencil for myself. And well, I had some trouble with Cricut. I was trying to do it from acetate so that I'd be able to reuse the stencil over and over again, but I ended up having to make it from card. Okay, so here's my stencil. It is a little bit torn and broken now, and I'll explain to you what happened to that in a moment. But because it got torn and broken, I couldn't play too much with it, obviously being a cardboard stencil. So I did a couple of stenciled pieces like the ones I just showed you, and then I did this, and this is the one that tore the stencil, so this was the last one that I could do. So I am actually going to use this as a topper for a journal, as in a journal cover. So I will make my cover, and this will be a topper, maybe with some cheesecloth or something behind it. I think it would look awesome. So how did I do this? Okay, so I have this stuff here. It says that it is acrylic effect paste. Now, to me, that means it's acrylic paint, basically white acrylic paint. And I just coloured it with some of my distress inks. I used Vintage Photo, and I can't remember the name of the green one. It's up, I'm not going to pull it out now because we'll have an avalanche if I do. But one of the green distress inks. I just put out some distress ink on my mat here and mixed in some paste with it, and I put it through my stencil. Now the colours came out very, very kind of washed out and subtle. And on the background that I had it on, it just wasn't popping enough, okay? So I ended up colouring this afterwards. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But while I still had the stencil on it, and while this was all still wet, I sprinkled some embossing powder. Now I was thinking at the time to use some gold embossing powder, but then I remembered that I have in my stash this stuff from Wow. It's inspired by Raquel Barillo Perez. I have used different colours of this stuff before, but this one is Royal Emerald. Okay, and so what it is inside, you'll be able to see, it's got beautiful, beautiful rich green and gold flecks in there, and it gives a beautiful, beautiful grungy kind of gilded effect. So while my cross was still wet, I sprinkled some of that over the top of it, and if you can see, maybe will I be able to show it in the light, on the actual cross itself there is some gilding. It's not going to show up very well in this light, and because of the shine coming off of this, it's not going to be very obvious either, but it does look really pretty in real life. So once I'd heat set all of that, it still didn't kind of pop enough off of that background for me. It's just these colours came out too pale was the real problem. So I went around with my embossing ink pad. I just smudged it in around here, covered it with that embossing powder and heat set it. And I just left like a halo effect around the cross itself, just to make it stand out and pop out a bit. So I think that came out really nice. I matted it onto some gold foil paper, and then onto a page from, this is actually from an old encyclopedia, and it is a dark kind of green. I've been using it for a lot of these projects also, as you can see, and it's kind of the perfect colour for what I wanted. It's that grungy feel, that it really gives a feel of old Ireland to me, it does. Okay, so that is that, and like I said, I'll pop some maybe cheesecloth behind this when I go to put it on the front of a journal cover. It would actually also make a great card. So there's that. So that's my first project that I did, and I have another one that we are going to finish up together. So now, you're not allowed to laugh, okay? Okay, you are allowed to laugh, but not too loud. I am not a sewer. I haven't picked up sewing needle for a long, long time. And of course, one of Rachel's things was her beautiful embroidered crosses. So of course I had to have a go. And this is how it turned out, okay? Now, in my defense, this stuff is pretty hard to work with, and I was using 4 strands of it each time. So yeah, little bit of kudos to myself. If I had been using regular thread, I might have done a better job, but that is what I ended up with. Now, I didn't fill in the circle because I actually ran out of this green stuff, but I do have some silver that may have worked. I'm not sure whether I want to put it on there. I kind of decided in the end not to. So yeah, we're just going to work away with this today. So on the back, I have done some heat and bond just to stabilize all the stitching, because like I said, I'm not the best sewer in the world, and this stuff was just, it was getting knotted and tangled, and it was a bit all over the place. So I put some heat and bond just to stabilize the whole thing. Okay, so that is the piece that we're going to be working with today. And what I am going to do, I am going to back it onto this, because we obviously don't want this to show at any point. And I am actually going to use this as a page flip. So I am going to turn it around the right way, get this sewn down onto this, and we're going to have that on the back. So we've got our gold colour on the back. I will make it work, don't worry, I'll make it fit nicely. And it will be attached to the page with the little tab I will leave over here. Okay, so I'm going to go off and do that. Or I'm also actually going to sew this strip of lace down the side, like so. And I will be right back to you guys. Okay, so here we have our piece, and I am just going to get this folded over and ironed with my trusty straight iron. And we're almost done. It's very simple. It's a very simple piece, guys. After you've done the embroidery part. And I'm sure anybody's embroidery is going to be slightly better than mine. But I quite like it. I put a lot of time into getting it done, so I'm using it. And like I said, I do quite like it. It's not absolutely the worst thing in the world. It's not fantastic either, but it is me, is what it is. So there's that. Just going to get this just folded over and ironed down so that it will stay nicely. Hope you can see what I'm doing there. And I'm trying to avoid that thread because that thread is actually plastic. It's not thread. So I'm trying to avoid that because I don't want to melt it. My chair is after going down very low and making me even smaller than normal. So I'll stand up for a little bit. There we go. Yeah. Got it, yay. There we go. So we have a nice little fold going on there, and we'll be able to attach this to our journal page. If I wasn't all thumbs today, we might be able to do it. Now, gotcha. So Rachel pushed me out of my comfort zone with this one, I have to say. But it was fun. So, you know, long may it continue. It's always good to get out of your comfort zone every now and again. Now, I also have this little shamrock charm that I am going to put up there with a pin that I had in my hand 2 seconds ago. And of course it's gone. I was also thinking that I might put something like this down here. I quite like that. And if you see on this charm, there is a little spot for, oh, I don't know if that'll focus. There's a little spot there for a gem. So I am going to get out my little gems and get one in there. And while that's drying, we can have a look for another bulb pin. Now I have some really beautiful gems that I purchased for, I'm sorry for the rippling and stuff, guys, and the pauses and stuff, but I purchased these gems for my zodiac journals. I have charms on those journals and they each have their own gemstone in them. So, and they're actual gemstones. I have like garnets and topaz and things like that. So I just need to find the correct colour. Obviously green. So I have here some green cubic zirconia. Now I don't actually know if they should be the right size yet. I pulled out another baggie. These are ones that I have taken from pieces of jewellery, or they've fallen out of pieces of jewellery, and I have them all in there. They're multicoloured ones. So if these ones don't fit, we'll get something out of there. Now, I do need to cut this open. I haven't used one of these ones yet. Nope. Let's try that again. they're packaged really, really well. And I got these, it was either AliExpress or Wish. I'm not 100% sure which. Quite difficult to open. There we go. So we need one of these, and the packaging, while they are quite well packaged, it's very hard to kind of keep them in the packaging afterwards, so that can be problematic. Oh yeah, it's going to look dainty. Can you see? I don't know if it's going to show up very well on camera, but it is in there and it looks absolutely adorable. So I'm just going to get that in there. And I'm going to use glossy accents for this. I need the teeniest, tiniest bit. But of course, you can never get the teeniest, tiniest bit that you want. So let's get some of that out of there. And get my tweezers. This is one of the fiddliest jobs you will ever do. There we go. Okay, so that's seated nicely. Now while that's setting up, we are going to do something here. Now I considered actually sewing this on, but it's such a small piece, I'm not sure that it would work. It does need inking anyway, so we shall do that. This is out of my kit, my Echoes of Ireland kit. There are some, this isn't an actual postage stamp, this is, oh it is, my apologies, a fee for conveyance of single post letters by railway, and it's from Waterford, Dungarvan, Lismore Railway. That's just down the road from me, which is very cool. So that is that. So there are a few of these little kind of tickety things in the kit. So what do we think? Do we think sewing it on would work? Or gluing it on? Now we could do both, glue it first and then sew it. But let's look for our bulb pin. And where's my box? I have it here. I'm trying to work on 5 different projects at the moment, so you can imagine my desk. Look at this, it's right there in front of me the whole time. Okay, so we're going to have our key on there, and I'm thinking, should I try to put maybe a bead on there as well, or is that gem enough? I think if I put a bead on there, it will actually hide the gem. So I'm going to leave it for now, and we'll see. But this will be pinned on here, and we'll have our little key hanging off. And let's get this down. I'm going to use Pritt Stick for now, and I will actually sew it. Actually, no. I will use my fabric glue, but I possibly will sew it afterwards once the glue is dry enough. I would have actually done more of these embroidered crosses, but I just ran out of time, to be honest. I needed to get this video done for you guys. And the beaded crosses as well was something I wanted to try. I will show you something that I did while I was in college though, a few years ago. Just get that down there for a second. So this is actually a piece that I did while I was in college a few years back. This was a depiction of the cross that I wore for my First Holy Communion, and I still had it at the time. I've since given it to my granddaughter, or my goddaughter I should say, sorry. But yeah, so I did I think it was a block print or a lino print or something with the outline of it, and I beaded the whole thing with beads. So I can do it. That's that. And one other thing that I just wanted to show you guys that I have had for a little while. It needs cleaning, but I came across this, oh god, it's a couple of years ago now. It's sterling silver, and it is a copy of the Tower brooch. Now it's just engraved, it's not like the beautiful work that is on the Tower brooch itself, but I think that is really, really cool. And I love the fact that it is vintage and it is silver. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. I think it's really cool. So I have that. I'm not ready to part with that yet. It may or may not be worth money. I don't know. I can't find anybody who'd be able to tell me. So I'm going to hold on to it for now. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. So our glue is dry enough there, I think. This probably isn't dry enough, but we'll get it on. I'll just be careful with it. I just wonder, will I need a, I'll need a jump ring for that. Let's grab a jump ring. I should have them fairly handy. Okay, so there's our jump ring. Grab my pliers. 2 sets. For those of you who don't actually know, I did a jewellery and art metal craft course in college a few years back. So I have all the jewellery making tools and things like that. There we go. But you can buy them online. They're not exactly specialty or anything, so don't be afraid to get them if you think you want to play around with this kind of stuff. These pliers are always very handy for opening and closing jump rings, I will say. Okay, so there is that. Get that on our pin. Yeah, so that'll sit much nicer there. Like so. Yeah, I think that is actually quite nice, just like that. There we have it. Oh, that's actually adorable. I'm impressing myself now. Okay, so what we would do with that then, and I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to attach this right now because I would want to tee down my pages and things like that, but it would go around the edge of the page like so, and would sew down here, and it would be a little flip open. Oh my goodness. Let's try that again. So we put it on the page like so. Now I know I have left just barely enough room for sewing this on, but it will still sew on, and it can be glued first before the sewing. And then we'd flip it over. It would look like so on the page, and then it would flip like so. Now I might put a pocket in here as well. Just trying to think, what do I want to do there? Obviously I can't sew it, or could I? I could, because I'd only be sewing down here. So let's have a look at doing that. Could also put a card or paper pocket on it, but I don't want to take away too much of the flexibility of it. That's the beauty of having the fabric. So I like the feel of that. Now I know there's heat and bond on the back of it, which does take away a little bit of the flexibility, but it is still very flexible. So yeah, I don't want to take away too much of that. So let's look at fabric for a pocket. I could of course use another piece of this, but I don't want to do that. I have more of this here. That might work. Put a pocket on here. What do you guys think? Should I put some sort of an image here? If I have, oh look, do you know what I could do? I could use one of these on the pocket itself. Okay, so these are the sentiments from my Echoes of Ireland kit. And there are some Irish ones in here as well. So is fada an bóthar nach bhfuil éon casach ann, which means it's a long road that has no turning. Then we have Ershka, Hela, Varan, Nadina. Under the shelter of each other, people survive. And there is another one there that I have already cut out. So let's cut one of them out. I'm going to use the one that's down here by itself. It's the English version of the one that I have already cut out. It says, a good word never broke a tooth. That's some good advice there, guys. A good word never hurt anyone. And isn't it so true? Okay, so let's get this cut out. Of course, what would really be ideal is if I had printed on some fabric, but I haven't done that. Keep that bit. Oh, come back. There we go. Now I'm going to trim a little piece of this off. How much would we want? Let's see. About that much. It's all very precise, as you can see with me. Usually don't measure or anything like that. Now with that piece with the heat and bond just on the edge, I'm actually going to leave that on the top, and it'll stabilize that edge somewhat for the pocket. And I'm going to take another little piece off of this edge, just so we're not catching on that hinge. This fabric, it looks like just a regular cotton fabric, but it is tough. It was actually difficult to sew on. Okay, so we'll put that there. And where's my little, here we go, here. We could have this down here. What else? Or we could just have it in the middle. Would that be boring? Let's try some cheesecloth behind it and see what we think. Of course, I was rummaging in my bag of fabric pieces this morning, so my cheesecloth has gone all the way to the bottom. And this is already tea-dyed, which is awesome. So we could just do that and have it very simple, which I do like, I have to say. Simplicity is something that we sometimes forget in our junk journals, and we go OTT all the time. I do like mine to be a little simple, but decorative at the same time, not, you know, too simple. I quite like that. Do I want it smack bang in the middle like that? Okay, let's take off a piece of the cheesecloth. Let's see. Cheesecloth doesn't behave very well, especially in the smaller pieces. It tends to want to go and do its own thing, doesn't it? So just like that, I'll take that piece off, obviously. What do we think? I actually do quite like that, but I do want like a little piece of trim or something maybe across the top. Let me think. I will have to go rummaging for that. Okay, so I will be back to you guys in just a sec. Okay, so as I opened the box of trim, this little piece jumped out at me, and I think it's perfect. So yeah, let's go and get these sewn down. I'm going to take my pin. Oh, I don't need to. I was going to take the pin off, but I don't actually need to. This is going to get sewn through a little bit, which I think will be awesome. So yeah, perfect plan in the end. Okay, I'll be back. So I thought I had the video recording for the last part of this, and unfortunately I didn't, but there wasn't much more to be done. I was sewing these pieces together when I turned off the camera, and And so we have our little pocket here. I got this wording stuck down with our cheesecloth. And I think that looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. And I will pop a piece of ephemera in here. I don't have anything ready, but I do have one of these little tag booklets that I'm making for the swap. So I have a nice deep pocket there. And it will be a lovely page clip. So guys, that is that from me for today. Like I said, if you haven't already seen Rachel's video, do pop over and have a look. She did some beautiful beaded crosses as well. Absolutely stunning stuff from her. Her envelope make was just gorgeous, really gorgeous. So yeah, make sure you go and see that. I love how the sewing, the extra little piece of sewing looks down here. It makes it look a lot more junky and things like that. Just, I really like it. And we have our little gem here. I don't know why that won't pick up really well there. Maybe you can see it now. Our little green gem in the key. So yeah, very cute. I'm actually quite pleased with this make in the end, even if I wasn't best pleased with my embroidery skills. I do think it came out really cute. Okay, so that is it for me for today. Look out for our videos on Thursday. Myself and Rachel will both be doing a video on St. Patrick's Day itself. And this video is just going to be a little bit of fun. It's not part of the giveaway part of the event. You don't have to do the make, but what we've done is we have chosen 4 words and we are each going to use those 4 words to make a project, and we just thought it'd be a little bit of fun to see how different they both come out. So Rachel picked 2 words and I picked 2 words. Rachel picked the words lace and blessings. So we're going to use some lace. We're going to incorporate the word blessings, and then I chose what we were going to make and an Irish theme or an Irish word. So I chose a notebook and a harp. So we have lace, blessings, notebook and a heart. So they're the 4 things that we need to incorporate into our little project. So yeah, if you'd like to craft along with that, we would absolutely love to see how you interpret the 4 words together. We're really excited to see all the different types of projects people come up with using those same 4 words. It's always amazing to me to see how people interpret those things kind of differently and how every project ends up looking completely different to everybody else's. It's really amazing to me. So yeah, do feel free to craft along and show us your makes. It's going to be so much fun. And yeah, and then we will do the giveaway for the ephemera pack and the 2 digital packs as well, and there will be 1 winner of all those pieces. So be sure to tune in for that. I will probably do that on the possibly the following week anyway. It'll be one of the days following week. Not 100% sure. I may announce in my Thursday video exactly what day I will be doing the giveaway draw, just to give you guys enough chance to put your pictures up of your makes. Okay, so don't forget to use the hashtag JJShenanigans. As I said, it will be in the description box below for you. Okay guys, that's it. Happy crafting, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye.